JV Cycles here with an update on November the 15th. I think the S&P should soon break down from this trend channel and make a correction low somewhere around December. I thought the bull market high was back in the winter, but this breakdown, it failed. It was a false breakdown, and we got this bull market extension. Now the history shows that in similar analogs we get this ABC extension of two such 17-week cycles. So when we didn't get the double top scenario back here in June, then my scenario said look for a top around October, November, and yeah, we should, just like the cycle here in red, we should see weakness into December or even January. Thereafter I expect a rally by here around January, February. It could make some kind of a double top or even a higher high, but in my opinion it should be a lower shoulder, and we should then be in a downtrend into the summer or even the fall next year, making a 3.5-year cycle low. So if we look at, let me see, here are a couple of these analogs with an extended bull market, and in blue you can see 1965. We have an A, B, C kind of. Well, let's scroll down and have a look here. 1965 kind of A, B, C, and then we started the bear market in 2014. It's a bit more difficult to see the A, B, C, but we are at the point where we topped out at that analog. Now I also had these two shorter analogs where this A, B, C was a bit shorter, but that didn't play out. And then we have this 1980s analog where you really can't see the A, B, C, and it's more similar to what we are seeing in this rally. Here also I have illustrated the 10-week oscillation, and we'll come back to that one. But as you see, we have 4 of these oscillations. Now what is so special about this rally? It is, I was expecting some kind of a correction here in August, September, and we never got that. Meaning that we are having an ABC rally of about, let me see, what is it, 6-7 months with no pullback, and that is making this one of the most extreme rallies in history. Extreme in the way that there are no pullbacks for many months, but a correction is due. It is coming, and it should come very soon. So let's have a look at some other stuff. I also have the quarterly cycle here in green, and the quarterly cycle is topping together with the 17-week cycle, so both cycles are going down into around New Year. And I have my VIX indicator, my VIX wavelet, that I'm using to identify the 10-week oscillation. So here I have the VIX wavelet in green and the S&P wavelet in red, and mostly they are in phase. They are giving the same message, but recently they have been a bit out of sync here. They are not perfectly correlating, but right now they are both going down, suggesting we should see weakness in the S&P. Now here I have made an average of these two wavelets, and you can clearly see how this rally has been 1, 2, 3, 4 of these 10-week oscillations, and now we are going down into some kind of a low. You can also see here in orange I have the 17-week cycle, and the 10-week oscillation is now making a top at the 17-week cycle top. That happened back here, and and at the previous bull market high, and you can see one 17-week cycle can, in this case, we have a 10-week oscillation topping in between, but the next one we have, it's just one, and here we have a 10-week oscillation topping with the cycle, and we have an oscillation in the middle. Here it's kind of topping with the cycle, nothing in the middle, and here we have one in the middle, and here we're topping with the cycle. Here it gets out of phase a bit. You see from this point into I'm skipping this one, I'm going 2 cycles. We see we have 3 oscillations within 2 cycles. So that's one variant. Here we have an oscillation topping with the cycle. Here it's a bit messy again. We have 3 oscillations within 2 cycles. So yeah, anyway, the cycle is topping and the oscillation is topping. So the VIX projection, the VIX scenario says it was going back a couple of days. It was saying, yeah, we should make all-time high here, continuing this rally. This should not have happened. We could still recover here, but I'm thinking that this has failed. I also have this projection suggesting we have a little bit more upside here, but question is, well, yeah, we could recover, making this a bigger topping formation. We have to see, but my signals are saying we should have a breakdown here. What else do we have? Let me see. We had that one. Yeah, we could go to the 4-week cycle. It is currently working better for Bitcoin, so I'm showing Bitcoin here, and the S&P up here in green. We have the 4-week cycle in red with vertical lines. I'm showing the cycle lows. You see it works very well for Bitcoin, but S&P is can't find the rhythm really. Anyway, the cycle has a low on November 19th. So I am expecting more weakness in Bitcoin this coming week. However, going back to the previous cycle, we see where we are right now at this point in the cycle. Let me see. At this point we were making a double low. So could be that Bitcoin could be making a bottom formation the next few days, while I'm expecting the S&P to break down. Anyway, there's a bearish window into around November the 19th, and then the cycle goes up. We should see a bounce, but I'm expecting both of these to continue to be in the downtrend into mid-December, and then we could have a bigger rally. I have this general scenario from many analogs for the S&P, and here are a few of them. The previous bull market high, I'm finding this current pattern is similar to the previous bull market high. Then we could have a really big correction starting soon here. Also 2018 is an analog. We could have a big downside coming here. Let me see, what is this? No, it's not looking like the COVID crash, although it also shows up as a possible analog. 2010-11, just before the Japanese tsunami earthquake, is an analog. We have 2007 is a bit more complex. Here actually we do not break down, and we are making a bigger topping formation. While this one in early 2007 is also an analog, suggesting making this a double top, a quick pullback or a flush down, but then more to the upside. I think that was most of it, and finally we have Dow Jones hourly data. I haven't looked at the hourly data for a while because it's so messy. Anyway, you can see kind of the 2-week oscillation. We have 2 of these within a 4-week cycle, and the 2-week oscillation, in my opinion, is suggesting a low around Wednesday, so we're close to November the 19th. But the easy downside of this downswing is done, but in my opinion we should see more downside the next few days. But the market has fooled me many times lately, so I'm really not sure.